And I wanted to tell him, like, Daddy, your little girl's getting married. Like, and I couldn't. Like, I didn't call him. Hi, guys. Welcome back to Alfa Bella y Mística. I hope you guys are doing amazing. Um, Welcome back to another episode. Today is going to be a very sweet, encouraging, love filled episode. If you guys follow me on my personal Instagram, you guys know that I got engaged over the weekend. Yeah, I'm officially in that fiance era. Even though you guys have been listening to me say he's my husband, he's my fiance, my partner. I really wasn't engaged until now. We knew that it was going there. It was a matter of when the time was going to come, right? I want to take today's episode to talk a little bit about him and I, not in very specifics, but I'm going to give you guys a couple stories and how it led to here. It wasn't butterflies and rainbows the whole 6 years, but I think it was a great experience that we had in our dating era, right? Too many of these stories might find it a little bit boring. To others, it's like, oh, you're listening to a fairy tale or like a book or something. So I hope you guys enjoy. I know I'm gonna talk a lot about stories that we're gonna laugh. And I quickly want to start off by talking a little bit about like my parents. So when I was a kid, I remember my parents were together until I was in high school. So my freshman year of high school, 8th grade. I remember my parents had a really rocky relationship. It wasn't always the best, but most of my memories, I can truly say, are the good times. So I remember my parents, they didn't really show much emotion. I feel like my dad wasn't very like touchy or like shows emotion through physical touch, but my mom was. She was very affectionate towards him, and um, I would see them showing love. My mom used to cook for him, and she would used to take it to his job, and he would be excited for us to come and stay with him for his 1 hour lunch. He used to work at a dairy, and I remember as a kid, my mom would be like, "Oh, we're taking lunch for your dad," and it was such the greatest thing. Like as a kid, I'm like, I love this. This is what family is. This is what love is. Like those are core memories that I stick to in my heart, and they um replace those negative and horrible situations we went through as a family. But yeah, I remember seeing that, and I was like, I love to see my parents love each other. Unfortunately, it's just their relationship didn't work, and it did come to an end. And as a kid, you're like, you don't really understand, right? Until you're grown up and you get into your own relationships that you're like, okay, this is what was going on. I remember all these years that I was single. I was really into church. You guys have heard it many times. I was going to college and I was really into the church life. And I remember every year just praying to God, like, God, I know you have a husband for me out there. Like, I know he's coming, and I pray for him even though I don't know him. I don't know where he's going to come from. But I used to pray. And now that I think back, I'm like, I would see myself like on my knees, like praying. And at the time, you would be like, oh, you're delusional. Like get it together, you know? But I always knew that that was like what I really wanted. Yes, I wanted many things, my career, my accomplishments, my home, but usually like a woman's dream is to find that partner, you know, that person that is kind of like your father, like not to replace your father's love because that's daddy issues, but like someone who resembled your father, someone who could give you that love and attention and security and loyalty like your father did. And when I'm all getting emotional, guys, I'm so sorry. Like this weekend has all been very, very emotional. When I met Ilbron, we were both like, I'm not going to speak for him and what he went through. That's his own. But we were both like going through a not so good time. We had just left relationships that were not suitable and necessary in our lives. Things happen for a reason. I never question why things happen, but not emotionally stable. We were not ready for a relationship. We were not looking for anything. And I remember we met through mutual friends, and this was during the pandemic and 2020. And I remember we were talking. He's like, "Would you like to hang out?" I said, "Well, there's a pandemic going on." He's like, "Well, yeah, but as long as you wear a face mask, and we use hand sanitizer, we're clean. Like we can conversate, get to know each other." I'm like, all right. So I remember we met, and the first few days, he rides bikes, sports bikes, and he had friends that would ride with him. And I remember the second date, he came and picked me up in the bike, and my mom, she's like, "You're not getting on that." And I was like, "Okay, I'm not." He just came to see me. Next thing you know, I'm on a backpack behind him, like we're driving down the highway. And I'm like, "Oh, my mom is gonna kill me." And sure enough, I came back home. We went for a ride with everyone. I was freaking out, like being behind someone's back. I don't really know him. I've met him 2, 3 times, and now I'm trusting him with my life. But I was like, you know what? I'm young. Let's go have fun. This is so like innocent. We're not doing anything bad. We're now out. Like, this is super like adventurous, my type of vibe. Sure enough, when I came back, my mom was like, that will be the last time I see you get on that. I'm like, yeah, yeah, sure. I'm like, whatever. And eventually it just, we kept talking. I remember, like I said, this was during, he would come see me at my house, and then I would go with him. And I remember one time he's like, "I'm so sorry. Like, I haven't taken you out on a date, like formally, like to a dinner, or because, the whole thing with COVID, and just scared to be out and try to get something from like a restaurant or a fast food. I just don't try." I'm like, totally fine. He's like, "How about you come over and I cook you some food?" And I'm like, "Okay, I can bring a side of like," he's like, "I'm going to barbecue something for you." And I was like, "Okay, I can bring a side like potato salad or something delicious, rice or something." He's like, "No, no, 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 it's okay. I got it." I'm like, okay, he's paranoid. He thinks I'm going to bring COVID over here. But eventually I got there and we were hanging out. By this time we were already hanging out for a while. And he's like, "I'm gonna cook for you." When I kid you not, I swear I'm gonna say this at our wedding in our vow when we're saying our speech. I'm gonna say he made me some chicken wings with no single seasoning in sight, no rub, no sauce. No salt and pepper or nothing. And I seen that, and he was like so cute. Just he had a little girl. He was putting it together. I'm like, those wings look plain. But I trusted him. He cooked them, and he served them in a bowl. I'm like, no sides, no, like just the chicken wings. No seasoning, no flavor. Like, oh, here's some water, here's some soda. Would you like anything else? I'm like, no, everything's perfect. Thank you. And I remember we ate, his friend had came over that day too. It was the three of us. One of my friends was supposed to come too, but she lagged. And we were there eating unseasoned chicken wings. And I thought, oh, like my heart, like, like I can tell you've never done this before. I can tell you've never done this before, but I appreciate the effort. And from that day on, I still roast him about those chicken wings. I'm like, you didn't know what you were. He's like, I had never lifted up my finger to cook. He's like, barbecue, yes, but it was already like his mom had seasoned it and everything. It's just, man. That was the beginning of the relationship. And at first, like I said, we had a lot of baggage. Like we carried a lot of stuff from our relationships. We broke up. We didn't talk for we hung out every single day for like 3 months. And it was like friends. It wasn't even like dating. It was just like hangouts. Like, hey, how are you? It was very like friendship. And then out of nowhere, like we just didn't talk. We didn't talk for like maybe 6 months. And he didn't reach out and I didn't reach out. And it just, one day I was driving through the town here that he lives in. And this is how like powerful like I feel like energy is and your intentions. I seen a bike that looked like him. I was like, oh my God, it could be him. And I was like, oh, this guy with the motorcycle. But I never reached out. I didn't, nothing. Well, maybe like a couple days or maybe a week. He messages me, he texts me, hey, stranger, hey, you haven't talked to me in a long time. Like, what happened? And he's like, we're gonna start a job in your town. And I was like, oh, really? He's like, yeah, would you like to get dinner tomorrow? At this time, like, COVID was like still, but it was like dying down. Like, people were going out again. And I remember we decided to get lunch together. So he worked in the same town as me. And we both agreed to have lunch during our lunchtime. That whole week, we had lunch together every single day. And he's like, I'm going to have to tell my mom not to cook for me. She's going to get mad because I keep bringing the food. And I'm like, yeah, you should tell her. So yeah, mother-in-law, if you're seeing this, he wasn't eating the food because he was with me. But yeah, after that, we just started hanging out every single weekend together. And sometimes during the week, like every other day. It was very consistent. And I feel like we didn't have expectations of like where this was going until like we actually started dating. I remember I could feel that he had trauma and I did too. We had trust issues. But it felt good. Like it felt like I didn't have to try hard, like to be a different person then. Try to change myself or be different or portray myself as a certain way. Like it was natural. It felt natural to be with him and be myself. And yeah, we started dating eventually. A lot of issues resurfaced and it was hard, but I felt like in the past, I had a lot of like trust issues and my intuition never allowed me to fully be comfortable. And him, I just felt comfortable. Like it was a different feeling. Um, I remember while we were in like year one, I was like, okay, I think this is the time to like have that conversation to really be like, you know what are your plans? Like, I am dating with intention. I remember at this time I was going to church and being very like disciplined in my religion and my beliefs. And I was like, I date to marry. I don't just date to like, you know. And he respected that. He's like, yeah, like I don't know if he ever thought about like settling down. I'm pretty sure he did want to get married, but he didn't plan to do that like with this person. Like basically saying like the next person I meet, I'm gonna marry them. He didn't. That wasn't his plan. But we established those boundaries from the beginning. Like I'm not just dating to be like, oh, we'll see what happens. It's more of like, if this is working out, we will elevate it to a different, level of commitment. Well, 6 years is forward in 2026 now. We talked about it. We both wanted to be financially stable. We both wanted to be emotionally, mature, and just have that awareness that if you do make this decision, it's not something so lightly. Like for me, the best thing about him is that he's very traditional, because I am very traditional. So we value marriage, we value commitment, loyalty, we value like doing things right, right? Like I didn't want to have a kid before marriage. I didn't want to move in before marriage. I wanted to do things traditionally. And the fact that he was on board with that, like, it made us work out perfectly. And now, we talked about it for like 2 years. Marriage was in the air. We had some, both sides, we had like cold feet. Should we do this? It's a big commitment. It's not something light. And we love each other. We want to be with each other. We want to grow. Now we started establishing our businesses. We started to get to be closer with each other's families, and have that bond. And he a couple months ago, like 6 months ago, we went ring shopping. We found one, and I was like, well, I think this is feeling real now. Like, this is what we're gonna do. And yeah, he bought it, and we went on so many trips, and I was like, where's it at? Like, is he backing out? Is he getting cold feet? But you know what? I was like, you know what? He has his plan of when he feels like it's bound to happen. And um, this weekend, you know what gave away that he was gonna propose? He's so funny, man. If you guys ever get to meet my husband, my fiance, um, he is hilarious, unintentionally too. We were driving to the vacation, and he grabbed my hand and he's like, damn babe, you have hairy fingers. I'm like, he's like, why don't you shave your fingers, they're hairy. I'm like, oh, okay, you're hinting. I'm like, I should be prepared, because that's telling me without telling me. But hilarious. And I was like, oh my gosh. And as soon as I told you guys a couple of weeks ago, like I felt it energetically, like it was happening, like things were changing in my life so quick. And I'm a woman that likes to stick to what she knows. I love starting new projects and stuff, but I feel like I hold on to stuff like, no, I'm secure here. I don't want to change. I don't want. And these couple of months, I felt like there was changes coming in quick, and I was grieving like my old life, like what I had went through, and starting a new life. Like I felt like it was coming, but I just didn't know when. And I had been very emotional, very crying. And even this trip, um, when I felt like he was going to, there was like little signs and stuff. I just started thinking about my father, like when he left and stuff like that. And I was like, was this whole time like I was trying to look for like that fatherly love in a person, like my feminine energy wanted security, loyalty, like safety. And I don't know, I thought about my dad, and like nobody really knows, but I don't really talk to him. I'm not close to him anymore. It's been years that our relationship hasn't been close. And I felt like I wanted to call him. I felt like I wanted to call him and be like, Dad, like, your daughter's. Because he used to call me my little girl. Like, that's what my father used to tell me, even when I was an adult. And I wanted to tell him, like, Dad, your little girl's getting married. Like, and I couldn't. Like, I didn't call him. And when he actually did it, like, it was so perfect. He knows that I'm a very nature girl. Like, I love to be in nature. That's my stress reliever. If I'm at the beach, at the forest, and oh my gosh, anything that has to do, like, I feel free and like calm and relaxed. And he took me to a private beach, and then he's like, let's go take pictures. I'm like, you don't like to take pictures. It's usually me taking pictures. He's like, come on, and then we go on a nice date to dinner after. I'm like, okay. We went, and before that, he went to the store, and I was like, I felt it like it was coming. I got on my knees and I prayed to God and I thank Him for everything, because no matter what I have been through, God has always like been there for me. And I don't know, I feel like I'm spoiled by God in many ways, not just in this. In many ways, I've that's who's got my back. And so I prayed and I cried and just said, thank you, God, for everything you have. I prayed for this man many, many, many years ago, 15, 20 years ago, when I was still young. And he's here. I started crying there. The amount of emotion and like full circle, like I pictured in my mind for many, many months how the proposal would be, but this didn't compare. Once I was there, I just broke down and I felt chosen for once in my life. Like, even though like I felt chosen by God for many, many years, but this feeling of like sharing a love, it doesn't compare. And yeah, we are here now. A lot of people are happy for us. A lot maybe shocked, but I'm very, very excited for this new story. I kind of wanted to talk about. I came here with in mind of talking about like the Bible, how it says like you shall leave your father, your mother, and be joined to your wife. Um, when they become one flesh, all of that talks about marriage and how important it is. But like, you know what? They've heard that enough. The experience and the raw emotions, the stories is what motivates people. Out of this whole story, I would say like even if you don't have a partner right now, I would start praying for your husband. Even though you're not dating or you're not engaged or you're not married or whatever, I would start praying for them. Like I've told you guys before, I don't have kids yet, but I already pray for them. I picture myself with a boy and a girl. I pray for them. I thank God for them. And yes, other people call it manifesting. That's what manifesting is. You still don't have it and you're already. But I think it's an act of faith, act of believing that you are worthy. That's the other thing. Once I came back out of the vacation yesterday, and Monday, I mean, Sunday and Monday, I started to get like imposter syndrome. Like, why am I worthy of all this? Like, how come I deserve this? Like, I started having a lot of like, but it's like everybody is worthy of love. Everybody, no matter what decisions or things you have done in the past, everybody is worthy of love. And from the bottom of my heart, like, I feel like everybody is worthy of love. Everybody. And I want to like pray for you. Like, I want everybody to feel that type of love, even like in friendships. I pour a lot into my friendships, like emotionally and everything, because I love deep. Like, I want everybody to experience this. I want everybody to feel loved and chosen, and I don't know how to explain it to you guys, but it's truly truly an amazing experience, and I'm very grateful. This is just a new beginning to what's going to happen, right? For future new opportunities, new doors, new adventures. And I'm excited to bring you guys along and share our stories and healings. In the next few weeks, I'm going to be having guests again. I know you guys get tired of my voice. We're going to have different people with different experiences and paths of lives. And, you know, I encourage you guys to be open minded and receive the love, receive the knowledge, the experiences that they went through, so that we can all heal and evolve better and evolve to be amazing human beings, so that when our kids come, they raise, they evolve with us, right? But that's all I wanted to talk about today, guys. I hope you guys can celebrate with me. If you know me personally, let's go out, let's go get food, let's celebrate. Even though I'm trying to lose weight now I gotta get it together. Now for sure I gotta lay off the tacos and all the yummy food. But anyways, guys, I hope to see you guys next week. um the next 3 weeks are gonna be a really good topic, so thank you guys.